I'm gonna talk about this right off the bat because I just get the show and I'm kind of in shock. This is AEW Forbidden Door 2024. And Swerve Strickland beat Will Ospreay and it's still your AEW World Champion. Now I'll give credit. Credit where credit's due. I did appreciate that. There was some chicanery. That it wasn't quote unquote a clean victory. I appreciated that. Because what I didn't want them to do, you had people saying, oh, Swerve is going to win, Swerve's going to win. And in hindsight, maybe that was a smart decision. But what I didn't want them to do, and what I don't think any of the fans wanted to do, was Swerve Strickland to come in here and beat Rod the King 1-2-3. This man is 18-0. This man went one-on-one with Okada multiple times. 25 plus fights don't match to his name. So, what I didn't want them to do was have Swerve Strickland beat him King. Now, I love Swerve. I love him. He's a great talent. He absolutely deserves more in WB. He's getting in AEW. But I still think this was kind of the wrong decision. Maybe that's just a personal thing. Will Ospreay was 18-0 coming into this. Now, to their credits again, they did say Swerve was 17-1-1, so he has 17 wins, 1 loss, and 1 draw this year. And he draw to John Moxley, I believe. And he had a couple wins over big names, a few wins over big names like Bryan, Hangman Page, everything like that. I did appreciate them fighting that because it would have been really easy to focus on, Ospreay's 18-0, how big would it be if Swerve beats him? But no, they put over that Swerve has 17 wins, the draw, and the yards. But that being said, how great would it have been if, well, maybe not great depending on how you look at it, but how great would it have been if Ospreay came in, was the first ever double champion, AEW World Champion and International Champion, and also he may have the New Japan title in the sights. But how great would it be if his first loss came for the AEW title? The AEW title, because it wasn't going to come for the International title. But, that's a personal thing. I do see the logic of Swerve winning, the appeal of Swerve winning, but it did not, just emotion-wise, maybe I just wanted, because Ospreay is one of the greatest, if not the greatest wrestlers on the planet, past or present, or even future. So, I just wanted Ospreay to win. I was 99% sure that it would win. But like I say, credit where credit's due. I did appreciate, and what's even more is the referee was knocked down in the match. This was an incredible match, by the way. Would have been better if Ospreay won, but it was an incredible match either way. What happened was the referee was knocked down. The referee got accidentally knocked down by Ospreay, and Don Callis came in. Now a few weeks ago, Ospreay said in response to Swerve tricking or something he did, he mentioned he didn't need the Don Callis family, which is true. I mean, if you think about it, he's been in the family, quote unquote, but the family hasn't really been a factor at all. Yeah, he just won every match on his own, as he should, because he's a vet. Don Callis comes out after the referee been knocked out. Oh, it's good to mention too, before this, Ospreay had Swerve dead to rights. Ospreay had hit the hidden blade. I mean, so as the referee was down, but they would probably gotten another ref if it was serious. So Ospreay had Swerve dead to rights. Don Callis came out and handed him a screwdriver to jab Swerve with. Vince Nana pushes Don Callis out the way. The announcers make sure to point out that Prince Nana is not a strong guy. Well, he's maybe as strong as the average man, maybe he is, but he's not a strong guy, or he's not that strong. The way Don Callis fell down, he fell down like Batista on that episode of Monday Night Raw to Mark Henry, if you know, you know. But they put over that maybe Don Callis was overemphasizing that to get Swerve Fiatu to get Ospreay Fiatu one the other, they point out. But I did appreciate that too. And after that knockdown, Swerve got out of the ring, and started, or Ospreay got out of the ring, and started threatening Prince Nana with that screwdriver. Like you put Don Callis down, like realistically, I didn't think that Don Callis and Ospreay were that close. But in any case, suspension of disbelief never hurt professional wrestling. But, Ospreay gets distracted by that. When Ospreay gets back in the ring, Ospreay reconnects himself a bit, and Ospreay gets back in the ring. Swerve hits a house call. One hidden blade of his own, a stomp, multiple house calls after that, the JML driver, and he wins. So I did appreciate it from this perspective that Ospreay Swerve did right before that. He would have won but my point was he would have won if Don Callis hadn't gotten involved. So, yeah, Will Ospreay did need the Don Callis family, because Don Callis cost him the most important match in AEW that he's had so far. So he's not going to be happy with that. I'm hoping this builds, which how can it not, but I'm hoping it builds to Ospreay. Well, it did not build, maybe the final step, but I'm hoping it leads to Ospreay cutting ties with Don Callis and his family, because Don Callis wanted to get involved. If he had watched that match, realistically, he would know that if he really cared, he would have known that, hey, Ospreay had it. Ospreay had it, the referee was knocked down, but Ospreay had Swerve. So, but, yeah, there's gonna be a rematch. Maybe at Wembley, I don't know. I can't remember if the winner of the Owen gets decided at Wembley or Double or Nothing. I think it's Double or Nothing, maybe Wembley. But, yeah, there's gonna be a rematch. Swerve is going to be crowned, or Ospreay is going to be crowned the champion. But yeah, why not get two fantastic matches out of the two? So even though I personally would have gone with Ospreay, the match was great for what it was. Really showcased both men business. I didn't think Swerve had a chance. I didn't think Swerve had a prayer. I mean, Swerve's good, but he's not Ospreay good. I mean, Ospreay just in another galaxy from everybody else. I mean, I'm thinking, Ospreay's been in the ring so hard. You haven't really wrestled, or you can't really call yourself a good wrestler until you hang with that man, or even beat him. But yeah, great showcase for both, and honestly, I wouldn't be surprised, because Swerve knew what happened at the end of the match. He said something to Will Ospreay, he kicked his head, I mean. But, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Swerve gives Ospreay another title match. Now, Ospreay may not take that, may want to work his way Saturday more upwards before he faces Swerve again, just to keep everything kosher, to keep everything fair. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if I was, convinced that Swerve was turning heel, but he didn't. But which I think is good. I just thought he would turn heel tonight. But yeah, that was the main event. I just wanted to get that out of the way because the way it ended, I was sort of shocked. I mean, I mentioned that house call and that stomp. Swerve kicked out of multiple stomps, and Swerve kicked out of the house calls. So I was thinking, Ospreay is definitely gonna win. I mean, he kicked out of multiple finishes, but keeping Ospreay strong, I love that. But yeah, the rest of the card was great. You have MJF versus, which I'm gonna try to go into as much detail as I can. This pay-per-view few buys, surprisingly, but I would just felt like I would just get started and move already to the New Japan title match. But I'm gonna try to go in as much detail as I can. You had MJF versus Edge Zero, and I should mention before any of this, kind of humble brag. They do these quizzes now, which tonight's the first night they've done it. I don't know if they'll continue it. I wouldn't be surprised if they do. But they do these quizzes now, asking questions. Yeah, like how many times has so-and-so won a title, or how many times has so-and-so defended it, or who did so-and-so team up with, or anything wrestling related, really. I mean, as far as AEW is concerned. And I got 11th out of, at least 76. So I'm pretty happy about that. I don't know if the winner got anything. I don't know if there was any prizes involved. But I had fun with that. I almost didn't do it. But I'm glad I did, because I had fun with it. Just a few careless mistakes that I won't make next time. But we begin to sell proper. I didn't watch the pre-show, but we begin to sell proper with MJF versus Edge Zero. And this was a good match. This was a good showcase. The ending surprised me a bit. I mean, it wasn't bad or anything, far from it. But MJF hit, they called it something else, but it was a yeah, like a Panama Sunrise at Adam Cole does, yeah, like a Sunset Ship, yeah, or a Canadian destroyer. And then he got his up for the brain butt. And I was like, oh, is that going to be the new Fencer? I think it's great, but I questioned if that's going to be the new Fencer going forward along with Salt of the Earth. Because, honestly, I don't buy the heat seeker as a finishing maneuver. I mean, the signature's fine, but I just don't really, yeah, there's no problem with it, but I just never saw it as the finish of a match. I think the Salt to the Arm, Salt to the Earth armbar is much more effective. But MJF wins. MJF beats his steroids. Everyone knew this was a yacht for MJF pretty much. But yeah, this was a good match. Good match for what it was. We get the trios match. The Elite, Kazuchika Okada, and Matthew and Nikki Jackson, the EVPs, versus the Acclaim, and I can be debate. I do not know who's Hiroshi Tanahashi, the president of New Japan and one of Kazuchika Okada's greatest rivals. How could I forget that? But yeah, they teamed with Hiroshi Tanahashi. The rap was great. For anyone who watched the presidential debate a few days ago, Donald Trump absolutely smoked Joe Biden. And you don't have to take my word for it, just watch the debate for yourself. I don't know how widely available it is anymore, but go to TimCat.io. They did coverage of the debate, but the rap, he said, he said something about Joe Biden that really popped me. I can't remember exactly what it was now, but that really popped me, being as into politics as I am. I didn't expect that from AEW in general, but I didn't expect that from Anthony Bowens. But I was pleasantly surprised. I wonder if he just ribbon on Joe Biden. I mean, which is fine. Or I wonder if if that convinced him to be Republican. Donald Trump talking points and so forth. But yeah, that really popped me. Tanahashi's great in this match, as he often does. He's 50 years old or something, and he just got the president's position in New Japan a couple months ago. So that was great. I will say, I upped him a lot more. I upped Hiroshi Tanahashi a lot more than Billy Gunn. Because the last thing we need is Billy Gunn in there beating up Kazuchika Okada. Yeah, like he did to Jay White a few weeks ago, which is still maybe the biggest thing in AEW history. Because Billy Gunn should not begin any offense whatsoever on someone like Jay White. He had a young Kazuchika Okada. I know Billy Gunn was good for a day. I know he was. Or maybe he wasn't. To me, he still wasn't that good. But, yeah, I know it's nostalgia for other people, but no, Billy Gunn is just not. No, Billy Gunn is not on that level, no like else. So we didn't need that. Hiroshi Tanahashi was somewhat far more appropriate. because his rivalry with Okada was just era defining. I mean, New Japan defining, and wrestler defining. I mean, it made Kazuchika Okada. So, yeah, we didn't, and that was much more appropriate, is what I think, if you couldn't tell. I'm a huge fan of their rivalry, by the way, if you couldn't tell that either. But, yeah, this was a really good match, especially Hirota Tanahashi, and, well, everyone, but Hirota Tanahashi and Okada again. I mean, that haven't been step, really, since Okada had. Funny enough, I'm pretty sure Hirota Tanahashi was Okada's last match in New Japan, which is appropriate enough for how great that rivalry was. If Kenny Omega could have done it, I'm sure it would have been Kenny, though. But, or maybe it wouldn't have been. That's a huge match. The fifth match, something that they don't need to wait when Okada's coming into AEW, so maybe it wouldn't have been. But Hirota Tanahashi the Elite gets the win, I'm sorry. The Elite gets the win after a dropkick from Okada on Hirota Tanahashi and a rainmaker on Hirota Tanahashi, which was just great. Next up, we get a TNT title, and AEW women's world title match, which was great too. Mina Sarakawa versus Toni Storm, with Mariah May caught in the middle. Mariah May caught in the middle of who she says has been a mother to her on Toni Storm, and who's been a cassette to do on Mina Sarakawa. Now, if you know anime, you know what that means for anime fans. But just if you know, I just go back and watch some of the segments together. But this was a really good match too. Part of me expected for Mariah May to get involved. In fact, that was a question that I said she would, but she didn't. And I shouldn't have been surprised at that either. But she did get involved. This was a rugged match, multiple finishers from Mina Sarakawa, kick out and everything. This was great. Mina Sarakawa really sold out here. And I am that this was as keen can be. I mean, no interference, no cheating spots that I saw. I mean, just keen as keen can be. Then, Toni Storm is still your AEW World Champion. And after that, they hug, and they shake hands and they hug. And that was, which was great. Which was, I'm looking forward to a more friendly dynamic between Toni Storm and Mina Sarakawa. We may even see Mina Sarakawa and Mariah May compete for the affections of Toni Storm. I mean, probably not, but I'm just saying we may see that. But yeah, this is what great match that Toni Storm won. Next up was a TNT title match. Next up was a TNT Adam match. We had Io Russ, what's the sixth man? It was the sixth man who made that happen second. I can't remember. But it was the sixth man between the Yearning Tree, Jeff Cobb, who was a substitute for Brian Keith, Chris Jericho, and Big Bill. And that was the lineup. Versus Hook, Hideo Sabata, and someone else who I can't remember. I thought I remember this is a review, but I'm blanking now. But anyway, this was a really good match too. I mean, before the match, you got the crowd chanting "Please retire Jericho," and Jericho saying into the mic, I know you all don't really want me to retire. I'm from Chicago, and y'all love me here. Chicago or Colorado, he said, one of the two. But this was a good match too. It had me thinking though. I know the crowd were chanting for Jericho to retire, but the fact that he's acknowledging it, now I've had this idea in my head for a while. If you remember way back when, as pretty so in 2020, Chris Jericho and MJF had a segment where they do a Broadway musical, basically that thing, a rendition of Me and My Shadow. And one of the key verses in that song is "You never get rid of your shadow, Chris, you never get rid of me." Sang by MJF. That's a great segment. If you haven't seen it, in a while, I highly recommend it. It's something I still remember. Even if I forget everything else about AEW, I'll still remember that. But carrying on. One of the key verses in the song is that, and at the time I was thinking, that's interesting. What if, which I was thinking this at the time too, what if MJF retires Chris Jericho? I mean, anything in wrestling done by MJF and done by Chris Jericho has a purpose behind it, even if it's years down the line. So what if MJF comes out and he references that and he said, I'm going to retire Chris Jericho. I'm going to be a star that you actually put over. Because the narrative is Jericho never gets anyone over. He may put people over, but he never gets anyone over. That's the narrative. That's not me talking. I mean, the keys in the fall-up. It's not Jericho's fault. But it gets in kayfabe with Jericho healing and going on the Yearning Tree stick and everything. MJF can say, hey, you didn't do anything for me. I did everything on my own. I tried to get into another company, but that failed. So I got into AEW. I became the guy. I became the best. I never got my title. I had to forfeit. He did. He did use the title actually. He had the title to Samoa Joe, but that was because he was injured, I believe. But yeah, that's interesting. What if that all comes full circle? Yeah, like I say, the fact that Jericho's acknowledging no chance, there's more than likely a retirement coming this year for Jericho. Not that I want to see him retire, but a lot of people do. A lot of people think he's overstayed his welcome, and he's leaning into that. And that's the most logical. That's the most logical outcome. If he actually does. This is actually an retirement match with, if not MJF, someone. Though preferably MJF. This match was really good. We got hooks on off CPXs. We got Samoa Joe. That's who they tagged with. It was Hook Joe. It was Hook, Samoa Joe, and Kazuya Sabata. We got hooks on off CPXs. We got Samoa Joe versus Jeff Cobb. We got some great wrestling from all three, but in particular Jericho. I mean, for that years people want him to retire, I mean, he could still go in the ring. I mean, it's not like The Undertaker wasted retired long before he did. He could still go in the ring. But I do like that he's leaning more into the seal with the Unitary gimmick. Acting like the fan Discord come to life. Yeah, acting like he actually does. He actually puts over everyone. Everyone is better off because of him. Because I guarantee we know that the real Chris Jericho anyway knows that it hadn't worked out for everyone, unfortunately. Yeah, I can say it's not his fault, but it hadn't worked out for everyone, unfortunately. That's had a program with him. And those who have gone on to greatness, they've done it in spite of him, not because of him. But the Unitary wins. Now I was half expecting Suzuki versus Jericho for the title, because they teased it on Dynamite, that's maybe the creation match, but I could definitely see them doing that at Double or Nothing. I don't see Suzuki winning, but I'll just say the FTW title was great for Suzuki, kind of an LGI title as a promotion like it was in ECW. Yeah, it's not officially recognized. I mean, it is technically in kayfabe, but not recognized by AEW as an official title. But yeah, I'm very much looking forward to that match. Like I said, I would have preferred we saw that match more than this one. But this match was great, and we get 2 good matches out of it instead of 1. So that's great. Next up we got the TNT title match. I got up to what I was saying. We get the TNT Adam match. You got Io Russ. You got Io Russ, Jack Perry, the scapegoat. Let me see if I got the right here. You got Io Russ, Jack Perry. You got on the TV, I had my train of thought there too. I'm sorry I don't remember that I go on as I do with most things, but I've got my train of thought there too. I'm sorry. But this was you had Mark Briscoe in the match, but that's all I can remember. Oh, you had Kenosi to get to 2. You had that's only 4. You had 3 more. But I'm sorry to remember as I go on. But anyways, this was a great match. I would say the outcome was 99% never in doubt, but this was a great match either way. A match that Jack Perry won, that you had Ayana fought, then you had Io Russ, which, while I'm on the subject, I know Impact have a partnership with WB now, which is kind of unfortunate because honestly, if anyone should have been in this match, it shouldn't have been Io Russ, it should have been Mustafa Ali. Because Mustafa Ali beat Io Russ a couple weeks ago, or like a month ago now, at the New Japan Dominion show, which if you're inclined, want that, it's only 10 minutes, that's the beginning of the show. There's a great promo package for Mustafa Ali beforehand. If you have a few minutes, because it is only 10 or so minutes, if that. But yeah, watch that match because it's one of the best openings that I've seen. And funny enough, I use that as a reference point for why Jimmy Uso versus Ilya Dragunov would just unbelievably terrible. I mean, nothing. Yeah, I stand by that. It was unbelievably terrible. It's not realistic. I'm only gonna talk about this for a minute because I may go off on a tangent again. But it's not realistic that Jimmy Uso would beat Ilya Dragunov when Ilya Dragunov has had Barn Burner 5-star matches and above, with Gunther actually beat Gunther for the UK title. But now we're going to pretend that he's not even as good as Jimmy Uso. I mean, no, I don't accept that. Why did you reject that premise? But, yeah, Jimmy Uso and Ilya Dragunov also went like 10 minutes, if that. So, yeah, watch Mustafa Ali vs. Io Russ at Dominion. It is an example of how to do a 10 or yes minute match absolutely perfectly. Just infinitely better than Jimmy vs. Ilya. But yeah, mini rant over. I just can't believe that they had Jimmy Uso beat Ilya Dragunov. I just can't. But yeah, rant over on that. I'm gonna move on. Like I say, this was a great match. Jack Perry won. Jack Perry, had Dante Bonta in the match. I'm still about the end of the video. I remember everyone in the match. But yeah, this was a really great match. Great match for what it was. I mean, there was some amount of drama. Now, I expected Jack Perry to win, but that's not a bad thing either. It was just kind of expected. But it's expected for a reason, because they've really been trying to get Jack Perry over. As over as he was before the CM Punk nonsense. Which, while I'm on the subject of CM Punk, I'll probably not get a chance to talk about this again, so I'm going to talk about this now. A few weeks ago, there was an angle between Braun Breaker and Ricochet, in which Braun Breaker put Ricochet through the window of a car, through the front windshield of a car. And coincidentally enough, CM Punk got on to Jack Perry for wanting to use real gas in an angle, and the car being a rental or whatever. He threw a little hissy fit over that. He wanted to act like a big shot. But yeah, I'm just hoping that it'll come out that CM Punk hated to Braun Breaker the exact same way. Because if not, he's just a massive hypocrite. I mean, either he's got those principles, he's worried about people's health, or he's just trying to be a big shot when he's not really. I mean, I like CM Punk. I like him. But honestly now, I mean, where he is now, I couldn't care less about him in WB. I mean, he left AEW and compete to grace to himself and the wrestling business as a whole. So I just can't. I mean, I'm happy people can see him in WB, but those are people who. Those are tribalistic people. I mean, those are people who didn't follow him to WB, who didn't follow him to AEW. I mean, yeah, they say they act Punk, but what they really mean is they act a certain radio just in a certain company. WB. But yeah, that's just my piece on that. I just wasn't so when I was gonna get to talk about that again. But that just funny to me that it didn't come out that Punk did anything, that Punk said anything, that Punk choked Braun Breaker, Punk got in his face. I mean, and if he wants to, he can mess me about this. But yeah, I don't really have any respect for the man anymore. I just think he's a money and an ego mark for himself. I mean, thinks he's really a big shot when he's not. I mean, Cody Rhodes heard it 3 years ago of CM Punk trying to order guys in the back because he was the WWE champion, trying to order guys in the back to pick up the garbage. But he did it in such a condescending way. He's like, as a locker room leader, I demand you pick up your garbage. And, yeah, no, they, but lucky they just yapped him off and, Booker T kind of set him straight. Yeah, Booker T asked people to pick up their garbage. They picked up their garbage because he didn't act so in a condescending way. But, yeah, Punk's a good wrestler, but I just can't care less about him anymore. But anyway, another mini ran over. But this was a great match. 240 was. Next, we get a title match. I'm sorry, I said I'd try to go into as much detail as I could, but honestly, I'm not that kind of reviewer. Which I don't even really review wrestling. Wrestling just something I like to watch, and I figured I'd hop in and give my 2 cents about some shows. But sorry, I'm not giving really proper analysis. If you want that, go to someone to sound off, JD from Hawaii or something. But you do get some rants, me, so that's a plus. But next up, we get a title match. Stephanie Vaquer versus Mercedes Moné. The TBS title and the New Japan Strong Women's title on the line. And so far, this was the match of the night. I mean, it was fluid, it was crisp, counter up to counter. And Mercedes Moné had a new transition. You got some stiff tries, you got your chain wrestling, you got your... Oh, how could I forget about this? I'm pretty sure this was the second match, or the third match I was thinking about it. but I completely forgot about Shingo Takagi versus Bryan Danielson. But I'll talk about that after this. Because I'm already here. The title match was absolutely great. I won't say perfection because nothing in wrestling ever is really, except Kazuchika Okada and Kenny Omega, and anything Ospreay is really done. But yeah, this was a great match. If you have a few minutes while you wait to hunt this match down and watch it too, it was a great match. As for the new transition that Monet has, they go into what used to be a finisher. It may be a signature now, but she goes into her Monet driver or whatever she called it, kind of a Fiat Yanni DDT where she gets an opponent on her back and she flips around with them into a face hand. I mean, where they face hand, not where she face hands. But then immediately after she goes into what used to be the bank statement, but it now did the crossface. But I did really enjoy that transition, because I don't have a problem with her using the Monet driver as a finisher or whatever she called it. But I know some people did. Some people thought it was a little too convoluted. So I did enjoy the transition. I hope they keep it going. And definitely Vaquer tapped out. And Mercedes Moné is your new strong women's champion of New Japan and still your TBS champion. This was a great match. After that, Moné celebrating. Who's to come out? But Britt Baker. This was a genuine surprise. I don't follow the Dusty that guilty. So this was, to me, I wasn't even thinking about it. But that's going to be, whenever that match happens, that's going to be a great match too. I imagine Britt Baker have to work her way up. I don't know. But because it's just the TBS title, and I don't think I have rankings for that. But when that match does happen, it's going to be a great match. Next up was another surprising thing. Well, I'll talk about this first. We had Bryan Danielson versus Shingo Takagi in the semi-final round of the Owen. Winner goes on to face Pac. This was just a stiff transition-based match. I also forgot about Zack Sabre Jr. versus Orange Cassidy. I'm sorry about that. If these are ones of them have seen this video, I'm so sorry, guys. I upped your match, by the way. I know that sounds like I made good, but it's not. I really did up your match. But we get Danielson versus Takagi, and this was just fantastic too. I expected Bryan to win, and he did. But I also expected this to be an excellent match. We got some dip striking and some kicks, some transitional maneuvers, some submission maneuvers, which is just great. But yeah, it's no pay-per-view. Honestly, watch it. I mean, preferably buy it. But honestly, watch it however you can. It's just a great pay-per-view. And it's fully worth your money. I had a VPN, so I got it a little cheaper. I went to the UK and got it for like $25. But yeah, cause I'm not paying $50 when I can get a VPN for $10 and then get an AW pay-per-view I want for like $25 cheaper. But yeah, this was a great pay-per-view. It was the price of missing, but I just didn't feel good spending that amount of money. Couldn't have. It's perfect though. Bryan Danielson beat Shingo Takagi and goes on to face Hack. For the right to get into the finals of the Owen, which it was just great. I mean, no, I count the semifinal. I'm sorry, it's a third round matchup. Which, if this is what they do for the third round, this may be the most stacked Owen in the history of AEW. I mean, the first one felt kind of no disrespect or anything, but I remember the third one falling kind of flat for me. I mean, I remember I saw some matches, like Adam Cole vs. EC, Adam Cole vs. Samoa Joe. I thought they'd be better than they were, and I may have to watch them again, but from what I remember at the time, they were just okay. I was a little disappointed with them. But this, I can say, yes, you can overall, this may be the most stacked Owen in AW sword history of doing the Owen. I mean, and we don't even know all the competitors as a wild card in the Owen facing Jeff Jarrett. Now, maybe it's going to be Hangman Page. That's a popular theory. Or maybe it's going to be Dijak Dijakovic. Because he was just, he didn't get they just waited till his contract expired, which means he doesn't have a non-compete clause, which means they can just throw up on AEW Dynamite this Wednesday if he wanted to. But yeah, it's a popular theory that Hangman Page would. I'd be fine with that too. I did them expecting it to be somewhat a bit different. I can't remember who I was expecting it to be now, but I'm expecting it to be someone a little different. But whoever it is, it's gonna be good. It better not be Billy Gunn though. But whoever gets the spot, it's gonna be good. You know, Ospreay may enter the tournament because like I said, Swerve would maybe offer him another opportunity, but he won't take it. But he may win the Owen. If he wins the Owen, that's how he gets that match at either All In or Double or Nothing. I'm pretty sure it's All In and Wembley, but yeah, that's how we're gonna get that match if Ospreay decide to enter. Which, how can you say no if Ospreay asks to be in the tournament? Which you can't, given this man's record and this how the match with Swerve ended. I mean, they're bound to have another match, so who better? But we got Orange Cassidy versus Zack Sabre Jr., which was a fantastic match to a phenomenal match. I mean, they look like mirror images of each other. I mean, obviously, Orange Cassidy's not going to be a submission bait as the HJ is, but they did a great job as far as technical wrestling goes. I mean, not acting like they had Jay carry the whole thing. I mean, OC is quite the technical wrestling in his own right. But in the end, the SJ, Zack Sabre Jr. ties Orange Cassidy up, ties the eggs up, ties the arms up, and he gets the verbal timeout, which is the second verbal timeout. Shingo Takagi did that too, after Bryan Danielson wrapped him up. So putting both of men over strong. Honestly, I could also see on Cassidy being the wild card. I'm not sure how I feel about that, but I could see on Cassidy being the wild card because that man needs to be, or even Zack Sabre Jr. himself, because either of those guys need to be in a main event picture. Next up, we got the main event. We got Swerve Strickland vs. Ospreay, which I've already talked about, but again, this was a great match. It was near fall after near fall. He hit bumps from both Ospreay and Swerve. At one point, Ospreay gets Swerve out of the ring, and Ospreay kicks him. Ospreay goes for the odds cutter off the top rope to the outside, but Swerve just trips him. And he lands on his back on the apron. That didn't look it looked great, but that didn't look good to take. That didn't look that he did himself any favors. But yeah, it was a great match. Again, I'm sorry I'm not more analysis based other than this is great, that was great. But honestly, this was just a great pay-per-view. I mean, it's AEW, but this was just a great pay-per-view. I was only looking forward to maybe 5 or 6 matches on the card, but they all were great. By the end of the night, they all were great in their own right. They all further to think too. But guys, thank you for getting my review. And also I do, if any of you are looking for some help, are looking for maybe some spiritual help, I am a pastor, and I've written a couple books, is my point. So I'll link the books in the description if you're interested. One, the spiritual, well, I say basically they're both spiritual books, but one Christianity-based book, I'm going to stop saying spiritual, because when you say spiritual nowadays, people get the wrong impression. But really both of them are Christianity-based books, but one of them, How to Live as a Christian, and one of them basically the physical aspects of spiritual warfare that we see, and how the devil can be, well, not even can be, how the devil is obfuscating people, how the devil is leading people to a dark path. I mean, honestly, I go into Democrats, but honestly, what we need to worry about at the core is the devil, because Democrats are just puppets with that freedom and that free expression. Anyone can be anything, everything like that. But yeah, that was the political jargon on the side. But again, guys, thank you for listening, and I'll see you next time I see you. And I'm probably gonna watch this pay-per-view again tomorrow. I'm excited. But I'll see you when I see you. God bless you.